All right. Welcome to part two of our weekly test show. Well, got back almost on time. As in on time, I mean the time that I had initially expected. So, yep, the lecture went on quite long, but I was able to, get through all of it. I have yet to take my snack break tonight, so I'm going to do that now. While we let Tom and Ben continue going crazy with things. Oh, yep, and this cat as well. Going crazy with the little Yu-Gi-Oh clip that we were playing around with before we wrapped up part one.
This is amazing. This is amazing. Yu-Gi-Oh! This is amazing. Yu-Gi-Oh! This is amazing! You are receiving God appointment! This is amazing! Amazing! You are receiving God! This is amazing! You are receiving God! This is amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! This is amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! You are receiving God! Appointment! This is amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! Amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! This is amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! Amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! This is 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 amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! Amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! This is amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! This is amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! This is amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! Amazing! You are receiving God! Appointment! This is 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 amazing! You will experience your disappointment! 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 You will experience your disappointment! This is amazing! 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 You will experience your disappointment! You will experience your disappointment! This is amazing! 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 You will experience your disappointment! You will experience your disappointment! This is amazing! 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 Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience Gold Disappointment! This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience Gold Disappointment! This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience Gold Disappointment! This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience Gold Disappointment! 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 Experience Gold This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience Gold Disappointment! This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience Gold Disappointment! This is amazing! This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience Gold Disappointment! is amazing. You experienced This is amazing. You experienced disappointment. This is amazing. You experienced disappointment. This is amazing. You experienced disappointment. This is amazing! You experienced disappointment! This is amazing! You experienced disappointment! This is amazing! You experienced disappointment! This is amazing. You experienced disappointment. 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 Amazing. You experienced disappointment. This is amazing. You experienced disappointment. This is amazing! You experienced disappointment! This is amazing! You experienced disappointment! This is amazing! You experienced disappointment! This is amazing. You experienced disappointment. This is amazing. You experienced disappointment. This is amazing. You experienced disappointment. You experienced disappointment. This is amazing. 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 You experienced disappointment. This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is being installed as deployment. This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is being installed as deployment. This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is being installed as deployment. This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is being installed as deployment. This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is being installed as deployment. This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is being installed as deployment. This is amazing! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is being installed as deployment. This is amazing!
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. All right. Well, that was time well spent, I have to say. Oh, I didn't even put this on streamer mode, didn't I? Why is it not letting me access the sidebar? Huh. Let me restart this. All right. Well, that was time well spent. So, I got the perfect line taken care of. I decided to go ahead and take that opportunity and get it taken care of. I'm going to have Brandon here at the ready. If he is up for doing audio tonight. Wait, that's the wrong page. That's the page I want. Yep. All right. So let me pull up the notepad document here. Okay, so the Discord window's not visible. Okay, it only shows up if it's not in streamer mode. Okay, so now I understand. All right, now let me make some. Okay. All right, so for those who may have missed part 1, the letters again are L, E, Y, A, T, Q, I, and U. And there's the letters from last week's word game. All right, let's see what kind of words we can come up with this week. So, let's see what kind of crazy words we can make. Let's see. How about, well, tail is of course one of them. Leet. Q-I-U-Y? Oh, maybe Q-U-I-Y. Huh. That's, let's try Q-U-I-T-E, quite, L-A-Y, quite lay. How about Q-U-I-E-T-A-L-Y? Quilt, quiltier, quiltia, Y-E-A. That might be Well, T-A-Q-U-I-L-E-Y. Yeah. Yeah, in just a short, in just a short span of time. Yeah, that's all the words I can think of. All right. Now, before we go any further here, the next thing is let's see who tested while I was away. Nobody else did. Okay. All right. Very good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the. I'm gonna go ahead and get the Thursday stuff thrown in here. Mainly only up to that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have a little bit of time before we begin Deal or No Deal here. So let me go ahead and load up the Windows 7 virtual machine, get that loaded. And while I'm doing that, let's go ahead and go back on some of this other stuff that was posted. And this was the stuff from that from the Blizzard. Yeah, from the Blizzard of 26. That's a we'll be right back card. So that's Greymane's test. I see Lightning Runner got that Snow Squall warning on WXL 34. I'm watching Electro Boom. And I see TFM just uploaded the Norman test from this. I believe it was the evening test. I don't know if it was the morning test or it was the evening test, but it was either. But it's either of the two. And now looking here, Mahoning Valley uploaded his weekly test collection here. This is Cleveland. It's two WR300s. And then
Weather Radio, all hazards transmitter broadcasting from Statesville, North Carolina, and serving the Piedmont and northern foothills of North Carolina will temporarily be off the air from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each day through Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Maintenance is being performed at the site and service will be restored outside this window each day.
So yeah, that's just a notice about upcoming maintenance on KJY 85. Well, it was out of Mooresville, and now it comes out of Statesville, North Carolina. Yeah, that's a statement that beginning tomorrow and continuing through Tuesday, it's going to be taken off the air from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So within that time frame, that is when the station will be off the air. Yeah, it'll be off the air for maintenance. Yoshi Fan got the Snow Squall warning. Did he get the weekly from today? He did. Yeah, he did. He did get it. I didn't see a notification of it.
What the frick?
And then this was the State College test. Which, of course, was at 11:10. Porting the Windows Recovery Environment UI to Windows 11. These are crazy experiments that I've been seeing. I'll give that a watch later once we're done. All right, let's see. Oh, Brandon was online for a split second and now he's not. All right. So, while we wait for him, we'll see if he's ready. If he is not, then that's okay. Okay, now it's on to here. The power of the poll is yours. Is that the Gemini Elf Yu-Gi-Oh card? Oh yeah, let's look at Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Wow, we were looking at computers and now we're looking at Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The super rare Dark Karibo. The Red Lotus King. Here's the Call of the Haunted Trap card. There's 3 copies of it. Huh. Snare of the Snake Hair. I've never heard of that one. Now this is the promo card from the Showman Jump magazine of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Seto Kaiba's signature dragon. What is this? Sandwich Day. I've never heard of this one. If you have 1 monster in your graveyard, pay 200 life points. Draw 1 card and then reveal it. Then if it is a monster, apply this effect based on its attribute. An attribute 9 in your graveyard, draw 1. An attribute in your graveyard, discard 1. You can only activate this once per turn. Huh. Winged Karibo. A massive personal collection of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm not sure if this is all English. If this is all the North American version of the trading card game, or these are the ones from Japan. Well, I do see English, but I'm not sure if there's some Japanese ones mixed into it. There probably aren't. Oh, here's a great combo. You got Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes Black Dragon. I see the theme we got going here. We got Yugi's powerful card, we got Seto Kaiba's powerful card, and we have Joey Wheeler's powerful card, all in one listing. I like that. Okay. I don't think we should be venturing down Yu-Gi-Oh as much as I'd like to, because that's not the point tonight. We're not here to duel. We're not doing Yu-Gi-Oh tonight. We don't do that until Friday and Saturday, so we usually wait till then. Alright. I think Brandon missed his cue, but I'll keep this up for another 20 minutes. If he responds, great. If not, then I guess we're going... Then I guess we go straight to Yahtzee, so... As of course we're adjusting based on his plans here tonight. Alright, so on with the scavenger hunt we go then. So, what do we have here first? A Dell Precision 3280 Compact. Well, it's a compact. What was this? Ultra. It's called Ultra Small Form Factor, but... Well, yeah, it sort of is, but I wouldn't call it a micro, because they have to fit a whole lot of stuff into this small case. And then here's what the inside of it looks like. You can put 2 SSDs in there. Now, is there a caddy anywhere where you could put a 2.5-inch drive? I don't think there's a caddy for that. Because here, this is just all SSDs, so there's no way you can put a 2.5-inch there's no way you can put a 2.5-inch drive into this thing. You know, as much as you could do with the micros. Well, with the rest of the Precision lineup. So, yeah, they had to reduce some of the features of the Precision. Well, pretty much of the more higher end models. You know, just to get it all into the package. And what do we got here next? A Precision
3430 small form factor PC. Core i7 8th generation, so it is compatible with Windows 11 officially. This one has 16 gigs of RAM, just like my small form factor, 512 gigs of NVMe storage. But of course, we can get the complete details by going onto Dell's website and looking up the model. What is this model we're looking at here? The 3430 small form factor. So we can look at the model and we can go to USB Type-C card, reimaging for Windows, dust filter, service manual. This is where it contains everything. So now we can go to technology and components, but I guess it doesn't go to show everything. But of course, these are all the processors that can come with it. The one I just showed was the 7th gen. What is this? Intel Gold. At only 3.7 gigahertz, but I prefer more of the Intel Core line. That's what I prefer more. So and there is a hard drive assembly inside of this thing. Yeah, it looks almost exactly like the Optiplex line, because it is a small form factor PC. So this is where the hard drive assembly would go. You can put a 2.5 inch or a 3.5 inch drive into there. And of course, this shows instructions for both 2.5 inch and 3.5 inch drives. So it shows both of those. Cable cover, VGA card, but it doesn't show much about anything else, interestingly enough. And this is the only picture we get of that computer. There's a 3260 again, but this one has a 13th generation. So that's what it looks like. You see there's the line out for the speakers on the front, which is pretty weird for an average computer, because usually the speaker jack is on the back. And then, of course, the headphone jack, USB 3.0, or this might be USB 4, because, I mean, that's the latest standard now. And then, of course, USB-C, the Precision 3260 label. This one has a vPro, and there's actually room that you can put a PCIe thing into there. So, and of course, this has a DisplayPort optional module. There's 3 display ports built in. There's the power connector, the 4 USB ports there, Ethernet, Wi-Fi antennas, and this here, it has a separate graphics card in there. A Sunix SCR6427A, so that's probably what that little thing is. And then this is it loading Windows 11, because that's the OS it came with. Here's a refurbished 3240 with a 10th gen. 10th gen i7. And then this is what it looks like on the back. So there's all the... You can put an additional PCIe thing into here. HDMI optional module. And there's only 2 display ports. Ethernet, USB ports on the back. There's another 3240, that's an i5 model. This is yet another 3240. And this one actually has Wi-Fi built in because of the gold ring antenna thing that you see right there. So this must be this is a Qualcomm card. Now that's a good way to tell if the Wi-Fi card that is installed in the machine is Qualcomm or Intel. So Intel usually does 2 antenna connectors for their wireless cards. Yeah, Intel usually does 2. However, if it's Qualcomm, which in the case of my micro it is, then there's only 1 antenna. Then there's only 1 antenna in use. So there only needs to be just 1 antenna port, and no other antenna ports are needed after that. Oh yeah, and I forgot to clear out the stuff for the word game because we are finished with that. And I do not think Brandon is up for Deal or No Deal tonight. So I'm pretty sure he's busy with other plans and whatnot, so I'm not gonna bother him with whatever he's doing tonight. All right, moving on. Here's a 3280 again. Or this is a different one, but it looks similar. Except here there's no speaker out port on the front. This is just like the modern day ones. So yeah, this is, of course, the 2 USB ports, the USB-C, and then this is the diagnostic test screen, and then more shots of the PC. Again, with the Core i7 sticker and the Windows 11 sticker. Too bad it doesn't show that on the home. It doesn't show that on home PCs. It only shows it on... That sticker is only present on the more professional devices. You know, the Optiplex, the Precision, the Latitude, the ones that come with Windows Pro or something like Education or whatever. If it comes with that edition, then that's where you'll see the Windows 10 sticker. Well, for Windows 10, but yeah. I mean, that's what Microsoft started doing with the release of Windows 8. Because in the past they did Windows stickers for each and every edition of Windows. I mean, they had a sticker for Windows XP to let you know that it was designed to run with XP. For Vista, it showed you it would run with Vista. But it's actually with Vista that it had a special basic label too if it came with Windows Vista Basic. But then it would just show the regular Vista sticker for all the other editions. I think Vista had its own starter sticker too, but of course we would only see that in developing markets. So then Basic would be for the more basic machines, but then of course Home Premium and above it would just be the standard Windows Vista sticker. And then Windows 7, pretty much the same story. And then with Windows 8, you'd only see the Windows logo on professional machines, like that Lenovo ThinkPad that I had. I'm a little disappointed that I was a little late in acquiring it, because I could have gotten it sooner, and then I would have been able to continue getting updates on Windows 8 for about another year. If I had gotten it a year earlier, I could have gotten security updates again for another year. But with Windows 7, yeah, I was a little late on that too, because the business ESU program ended on the very same day that Windows 8 lost support. I mean, I could have revived it if I had so desired, but yeah, I didn't want to take chances. And then they carried that system over to Windows 10, where only the Windows sticker is shown for Windows Pro. And then the same is true now for Windows 11 on more modern machines. All right, back to the Precisions. This next one is a 3650 with a what looks to be 11th gen Intel processor. I'm not sure how factually accurate this is, but we can look on the inside and we can see there's one slot for an NVMe drive. And I suppose this is slot number 2. So you could put 2 NVMe drives in here. And I know you can put multiple 2.5-inch drives. This was something I've been thinking about. I was thinking about it, was it last night? Or I think it was a couple nights ago. Probably was a couple nights ago because I was thinking about something else. But regardless of that, oh yeah, here's where the other hard drives would go. So you could put a 2.5-inch drive, you could put a 3.5-inch drive in there. All right, now we have this 3460 with it being DDR5. It's a little more modern. I can see it right there. This is a small form factor precision. 3460, and one of very few to come with a disk drive. It doesn't show the motherboard, but at least just shows some pictures of the machine. There's what it looks like there on the back. And then just takes a generic image of it. There's a Precision 3260 that was downgraded to Windows 10 Pro from Windows 11. I did some research on Dell's site, and yes, Dell did actually offer a downgrade option for Windows 10. Well, to downgrade from 11 to 10. And now we have this Precision T3600, which shipped with Windows 7 Pro. Judging by the sticker there. This one is on 10 Pro. And of course, since it's from the early 2010s or 2009 or whatever year it is, that machine unfortunately is not able to officially run Windows 11. Although it is sort of possible, but it depends on the kind of CPU. I believe it was like CPUs after 2011 that have these new SSC 4.2 and POP CNT or POP count, whichever it is, how it's pronounced. Those processors need to have those two in order to be able to run 1124H2 and newer. So that would mean 24H2, 25H2, and the upcoming 26H2. So essentially, the last version that a lot of the older machines can run is 23H2, and unfortunately, the business edition of it only gets one more year, and I believe we're down to like 10 months. Let's see. Home and Pro support ended on November 11th. So going down the calendar here, October 13th of this year will be the end of Windows 10's consumer extended security update program. So only businesses would be able to opt in for another 2 years after that. So then November 10th is when I presume that the business editions, the more commercial editions of 23H2 will lose support. So that would mean Enterprise and Education, those two editions, will lose support. So meaning no more security updates, you got to go to the next version in order to stay secure. And in fact, this September, I believe, was it September? Well, later this year, that is when 24H2 will lose support. So I know that my college is still on 24H2. They've been on 24H2 since they made the move from Windows 10. So, I mean, they can just easily deploy 25H2 because all it is, it's just an enablement package. So, all they can just do is, just deploy the package through Software Center and, then it'll be in business. So, all it is, it's just that one package and just one restart, and it only takes a few minutes, and that's it. And they're on the latest version of Windows 11. And of course, I can stay with 25H2, but pretty much, as I'm sure you all know, I didn't really have a choice. It's either I risk security on 23H2, considering how stable it was, or go over to 25H2, not knowing that I was going to run into the microphone cancellation problem that I ended up in. So, yeah, and unfortunately, after running all the security updates, it just didn't cut it. So, yeah, I am rather disappointed that I lost that functionality, but I mean, the thing is, you all get to hear my radios now. I mean, you all have been able to hear them since I did the update, since I did the feature update. But I had to, because Home and Pro would not receive another update. I believe I did hear Home and Pro got another update despite it being the end of support, which I am quite surprised. But regardless, I had to make the move. All right, back over to the precisions now. I don't think I've ever seen this one before. This is a Dell Precision 3930 rack. This is a rack model. I have never seen a rack model Precision before. So, I see this is where you put an NVMe SSD. And then there's SSD slot number 2. And I wonder if you can put any hard drives into this thing. Well, let's actually take a look. So this is the 3930 rack model. This is the rack model. And we can go to setup and specifications and we can take a look here. And of course, that's screenshots from Windows 10. And then this is a look at the chassis. And then here's the board layout. So we have some SATA connectors, it looks like. Yep, this is exactly as I expected here. 2 NVMe SSDs you can put. And then it does not look like there is a separate connector for a Wi-Fi card. Yeah, because I don't think it has that kind of information. So. Now it's supposed to be setup and specifications where we get all the stuff here. And then this is the same as what we were just looking at. So pretty much the only kind of thing you can get with this is just Ethernet connectivity, no option for PCIe expandability, and you're only limited to SSDs. I mean, that is a very small form factor, so there's no way a 2.5-inch hard drive would be able to fit in that thing. At least that's what I think. All right, let's go ahead and change it from Precision Compact to Precision Tower and look at those big and giant Precision PCs that I've been looking at over the past 48 hours. So, yeah, because I've been looking at these Dell Precision PCs. And we have time to look at a few more here, because in about just a few minutes or so, we're going to go ahead and move on over to Yahtzee. So here's a 3660 with a dust filter. Either this is the front panel or the dust filter. And here's a good look at the inside of it. Let's see what we can find inside of here. There's one of the SSDs. And I believe there's actually supposed to be slots for another one somewhere. There is what looks to be a slot for a second one right underneath the CMOS battery. And then here's where you could put another hard drive in there if you so choose. All right, let's go to this Precision 5820 with 4 hard drives. You can actually put custom labels on these. That's good to know. So there's the power button. And this also has an SD card slot. Something my small form factor does not have, because it was an option. It is an optional component. But I don't need an SD card reader inside of there. I mean, all I just need is Wi-Fi connectivity and and enough storage, so we're good to go. So there's a look at the hard drive bays. The bays where you can put the other hard drives. And then there's a look around the computer. And then there's a look at it from the inside. So there's a look at the device from the inside. Alright, where were we here? And by the way, this is the last computer we're going to look at here before we move on to Yahtzee. Ooh, a Radeon Pro WX 4100. 32 gigs of RAM. Both RAM slots with 16 gigs each. Now, where's one of the SSDs? Because I know there's supposed to be 2 of them somewhere in this machine. I know there's actually supposed to be 4. Because when I looked at Dell's support documentation on this machine, there's supposed to be 4. NVMe SSDs inside of here. Well, you can put 4 internally, and you can put 4 externally on any configuration you choose. So, yeah. All right. Well, like I said, that, folks, is all the time we've got for the eBay scavenger hunt. Now I'm going to go take care of something really quickly here, and then we are going to we're going to go ahead and move on to Yahtzee, our final game of the night. All right. Now I want to do one more thing. Oh, no 3D support available from the host. Well, I'm not surprised because Windows 7 is already running. So, I mean, it's not like Windows 11 needs all this fancy 3D support stuff. It doesn't need it. But yeah, it'll look fine with it'll just work fine without the 3D support, and I don't think it needs the 3D support anyway for what I'm gonna be trying with it. So rather, I'm just gonna let it run in the background while we're playing Yahtzee here, and then I'll just check on it. So, yeah, because I've actually been curious about something since I saw that experiment video. So, let's go ahead and start it. And then, as far as I know, the whole process is automated, so let's see if it starts. It should start even without 3D support. Or maybe it's just taking quite a long time. I don't know, because I only let this run for 30 minutes last night when I tried it. It wouldn't even boot off. I even tried to boot off the CD and it wouldn't even do anything. So I don't know if it's trying to do anything or is it not doing stuff. It doesn't look like it's trying. Here. That's alright. That's fine. Because, I mean, I'm probably going to be up later tonight. I'm probably still going to be up tonight anyway. Alright. Now then, we are going to go ahead and move on to Yahtzee. Oh no, not the display capture. There we go. So let me turn this down here. Alright, versus the computer. We usually do difficult for our live program. Alright, here we go. Game number 1. So we're kind of prepping for tomorrow's taping session. Where, of course, as I've said, I will be taping episodes of Yahtzee. However, I heard about something else. Something else possibly. Well, yeah, something else that could probably alter these plans a little bit. But I still plan to get up early tomorrow so I can get as many Yahtzee episodes recorded as I can. But yeah, tomorrow I'm hoping to make 20 of them in the first set, and then the second set another 20. And then I'll just see how many more episodes I can record out of the remaining days. I'll just see how many I can tape. So, as I've said, of course, tomorrow is when I will be taping episodes of Yahtzee. And I will pretty much be doing so for, well, like I said, tomorrow I'll be doing it. And then Friday I'll be taping Yahtzee episodes. And then it's actually after that where, of course, I'll be running on a totally different schedule to accommodate for midterms and then, of course, the upcoming spring break. So then, of course, Monday of next week, there won't be any streams as per usual. However, I am going to be taping, I am hoping to get 40, well, not 40, but, well, actually maybe 40, but, well, actually, no, not 40 episodes. 35 episodes of Ticket to Ride created. So I'm hoping to get 35 episodes of Ticket to Ride made on that Monday. But then Tuesday, it's only going to be 25. Yeah, it's only going to be 25 episodes. Because of course I mentioned Severe Weather Awareness Week, and yeah, because I mentioned Severe Weather Awareness Week and, you know, midterms and all that stuff, so. So yeah, I mentioned Severe Weather Awareness Week, midterms, and all that. Yeah, and all that stuff. So that is why the schedule is going the way it currently is. So So yeah, 4 is the last number we can mark off on the top. There's our large straight. Almost had it. And there's our small straight. All right, so here we go. Time for game number 2. So, SCWPSU had tested 2, so I'll take them out. Alright, so once again, the plan is, as I said, tomorrow, I'm hoping to get 40 episodes made, but probably 35. Yeah, 40 episodes, so that way I can bring the show to... that way I can get the show to 200 episodes. So that way I can get it to 200 episodes. Well, almost exactly. But we'll see how far we get. And then Friday I plan to tape more. And then I plan to tape more on Friday of this week. And then next week I talked about next week's plans earlier. Where now that 5th grader is capped off officially at 300 episodes. Yeah, capped off officially at 300 episodes. I'll instead be recording more of Ticket to Ride. So I'm shooting for 35 episodes on Monday of next week. And then Tuesday, following the Severe Weather Awareness Week drill, and after I get it uploaded, that will be when I continue creating episodes of Ticket to Ride. I plan to tape even more of them. This time I plan to tape episodes. I only plan on taping 25 of them. But yeah, that is to accommodate for the midterm exam that I have to get taken care of. That'll accommodate for the midterm exam that I have to get done. But one of the two, and then the other one, of course. So first thing in the morning, I'll take care of the midterm, and then get the Severe Weather Awareness Week drill test message. And then after that is finished, and after that's finished and I get it up, and compilation made and a little compilation made, then I will move on to continuing to tape Ticket to Ride. So I'll get more episodes of it taken care of, but I did say I would be taping 25 of them, and only 25. Yeah, 25 and only 25. That is the shortened amount of time that I am likely going to get. So that should bring the show to 360. So then, if all goes well, by the following week, that is when I'm looking to bring Yahtzee to episode number 300. So that's where I'm looking to get Yahtzee to 300 episodes, and then the following day, Friday, 6th, I plan to get Ticket to Ride to 400, get it to the 400 episode mark, and officially bring that show one step closer to completion. So if I remember doing the math right, 325 will mark the it's actually going to be 375. That will put the series at that's going to put the series at 3/4 of the way done. So I did say that by next Friday I'm looking to get Ticket to Ride to that point. And then of course the 9th through the 13th, that will be our spring break, so I'll just be enjoying myself that week. But of course, we'll still be live for all of our usual stuff. Minecraft, we'll probably still do... Well, I mean, I don't think we're really going to do another, 12-hour edition of Minecraft, but we're still going to do Minecraft on Monday. So, I'm thinking that we'll just do it at 4 p.m. as we have been doing. And then everything else will be normal. So, Tuesday will be Roblox. Wednesday's going to be the weekly test show with our games. And then, everything else after it. Yeah, and then everything else after that. So. And then, of course, when we come back from spring break, I'll spend the first week back to get Ticket to Ride totally finished. And then record the remaining episodes. As I'm getting to do the rest of the episodes of the show. So let's do the math on that. So if we have 400, and then I do 35 on that Monday, and then 35 on that Tuesday, and Thursday, I only record. Well, that's saying if I end up getting up early each day to record multiple episodes. Oh gosh, talking, who's got that? It captured the audio from the game. Alright, so go ahead and shut the virtual machine down. And I'm making sure everything is up and running. Make sure nothing has been changed. Alright, good. Okay. Now, going back to the plan with Ticket to Ride, as I was mentioning. So, I was thinking of another possibility. So, let's do the math on that. So, I did say that I would be recording I would be at 400 episodes by the time that I come back from spring break. Now, on average, I would record 35 episodes of the show if I end up starting my day at 8 a.m. So I'm just taking it from that perspective. And then when we add another 35 episodes, that would be to accommodate Tuesday. So then it would be that Tuesday I would accommodate to record even more episodes. And then the following, and then of course, Thursday that week, that is when I would record the final pieces. So I would have to record. I would only have to record 30 episodes that day, and that is what would bring Ticket to Ride over the. That would bring Ticket to Ride to the finish line. So then, depending on how many episodes of Yahtzee I get done this Friday, that will pretty much set the stage for next Friday. Well, the Friday that will set the stage for the Friday of that week after spring break. So let's say I managed to get 50 episodes done, and then I would do 40 on Monday, then 40 on Tuesday, and then 40 on Thursday, and then I would only have to record 30 on Friday. So, finishing up Ticket to Ride on that Thursday, and then getting started with creating Yahtzee. Then getting started with creating Yahtzee on that other day would then allow me to officially finish production. Would then allow me to finish production on pretty much all of those shows pretty much in time. As I mean in time, because I want to start recording, because I want to start taping, because I'd like to start taping the fourth and final season of the Bowling Train on that day. So, on the following week. So I'd like to start taping that show the following week. So I'd like to get started with production on it by the following week. That's when I'd like to begin production of the Bowling Train's fourth and final season. And then after that season has been made, then of course we'd move on to the Travel Series remake. So the official remake / remaster of the Travel Series that I did many years ago. So okay. So then I'd like to spend the next several weeks after that to complete that project. And then, as I have also stated, as soon as that project is totally done, so then as soon as that project is totally finished, so then I would have to then I would do the Travel Series remaster, and then the rest of the time following that will be then when I begin to produce. When I then plan to start production. Well, rather to continue production of Sorry and Big John's Wheel of Fortune. So I plan to continue production of both shows. So I'm continuing production on both shows, which, as I have stated already, will continue through May, and eventually will continue through the summer. and then we'll continue through the summer. All right. Alrighty. So there we go. Got that running. I'll just let it do its thing while I finish. Yeah, because I want to try the little experiment again. So, just try it before I do anything else with it. So yeah, was that everything I needed to talk about here? Let's see. So yeah, the coming, of course, I'll be taping Yahtzee the rest of this week. I'll be taping Ticket to Ride 3 times next week to get the show to 400 episodes. And then I would only have to tape Ticket to Ride for 3 more days if I record 35 episodes over the course of just 2 days of the following week. And then I would only have to record 30 on that Thursday. So then the following Friday, I can just start with Yahtzee, and then the following week, I can work on getting that show finished up. And then, of course, the production of the bowling train would then begin after that. So that is pretty much what I have stated at this point. So let's see. Yeah, the spring taping cycle. So of course our next live broadcast then would be on. It would be on tomorrow night, and I did say that we would do it at like. I did say that we would do it at like 7 p.m., but I found out that the in-class part was an error. So, Backyard Baseball is back on to 5 p.m. this week, as it always has been. So, now, are there any other things we need to take care of? I think that's it. But let me look at the other one, just make sure. Yep. All right, yep, that is it. That is everything. So that is everything that we need to cover. All right, so it's time to go ahead and say goodnight then to Tom and Ben. Of course, it's nice that we have had them with us today, as always. Although, again, you two, I apologize how late I was today. It was very late, but yeah, I was just talking about stuff. I was just just making sure that the SDR thing as part of, today's show was going to work and all of that. So, again, thank you both. And of course, we will be back with them. And of course, we will be back with them next week. And of course, one final thing is, of course, we'd like to thank all of our special guests who have joined us throughout the day today. I know we had only a few guests. I mean, we had Andrew Durnock, who I hope he's enjoying I hope he enjoys his last full day in Florida tomorrow before last day on his trip before he comes home. And of course, Dimitri. I believe those are the only people we've had, but I don't think many other people have joined us since we've made the migration. Well, since we've moved away from this national EAS stuff, but we're kind of bringing it back, only temporarily, so we can cover the final weeks of Weather Radio Canada before it is discontinued. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So, yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, then I don't know what the radio world is going to be like without Weather Radio Canada after March 16th. But I guess we will have to wait and see what happens. We'll have to wait and see what happens when we get to that point. But then again, so again, thanks to thanks to Tom and Ben, of course. Although I was a little late with them, well, very late actually. Of course, thanks again to all of our special guests who have joined us here today, and of course, I want to thank all of you for joining us here for another exciting weekly Test Wednesday extravaganza. This has been a lot of fun. I mean, of course, it's always fun, when we do this whole thing every Wednesday, on Wednesday morning, just taking some time, out of the week and, this is kind of like my little free day from taping episodes of shows and stuff like that, just so we can make sure all our monitors, just so we can ensure that our monitors are working correctly, all the weather radio monitors are working, and that SDR thing that I just set up, making sure that that's functioning properly, and also, well, and of course, any physical weather alert devices are able to receive alerts correctly and everything like that. So pretty much that's really what this whole program is about. And of course, it's our viewers that make this whole thing possible, especially myself too. So again, thank you all for joining us here tonight. And oh yeah, I was just thinking I had not gone back on the Borealis. I actually did not go back on the Borealis. I don't think I did. Or did I go back on the Zephyr at all? I don't think so. Let's go back on them. Let's go back on all three of those if I've not done so already. Let's take care of these. Let's take care of these before we go. So yeah, let me take a moment and take care of these before we go. Yeah, let me take a few moments and go back on these before we say goodbye. Well, before we actually leave you. Alright, so that's the Borealis. I know I went back on the Builder earlier. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to check Galesburg instead because there was no timestamp. So. Okay, so. I'll probably have to check Amtrak's site. Oh, here's one of them. Alright, and this is the other one. Yeah, I forgot to do that this afternoon because we were having fun with Monopoly. I was being briefed on some other things. I got so distracted. All right, now that is all of the Android trains that I need to go back on here. And now that is going to wrap things up for us here tonight. So, once again, thank you all for joining us here for another. Thank you for joining us on another exciting, fun-filled edition of the Weekly Test Wednesday show. Again, thanks to all of our special guests who have joined us here today. And of course, Tom and Ben is our special guests as always. I always enjoy having fun with them when it comes to this show. And we hope to see you again tomorrow night at 5 p.m. when we bring you another great game of backyard baseball. But until then, I'm Mr. Planfald, and we wish all of you a very pleasant good night.